welcome. I do not have an intro, but I have a brand new video for you, and also a brand new video type, because right now we are in the game. This is not a speedbolt. I usually have done only speedbolts so far, but this episode will be a planning episode. We are planning our tropical zoo right here because I've kind of come to a point where I'm stuck. I don't really know how I want to continue, and I figured that would be a cool point to take you along and see how I plan out my zoos and how I solve it when I'm stuck like this. So, I just think I will give you some tips, but it won't by any means be like a tutorial on how to plan a zoo. This is more like what I do. I kind of take you along and give you the tips that come to mind while I do it. So, this isn't really like a structured tutorial video or anything. This is just me planning out this zoo and kind of talking about how I do this. So let's start out by introducing you to the problem that I run into. So we already have done some terraforming. So you can also already see that this is kind of something that I had in mind and that I have planned for already. But the thing is with this, that it is too big, first of all. So this entire thing, like in my mind when I was first planning this cave thing sort of would be very much more behind this, so like right here, but then the beach is too short, so I kind of want to figure out a way to kind of make this more curved so that the path here kind of meets the cave earlier, so that there is less of a way for this to go in, because the idea is more or less that sometimes, like, think of this as the ocean, waves would like go into these caves and sort of bring it into the land. So that is what I wanted to do, but I know that the scale is super off. If you look at this and if you look at the boats, I don't want it to be wide enough for a boat to go through. However, I do have a bigger plan for this cave, so it has to be somewhat wide. So we will work on that later on. There will be some cuts in this video where it jump to the more interesting parts. And yeah, like I said, this isn't really a tutorial, this is more like how I do it. But let's also start out by telling you that I'm a big planner. So usually what I start out doing when I have an idea for a new park is I will draw it. I usually use my iPad for it, but I mean, you can totally do it on a piece of paper. I just like doing it on the iPad because I kind of make myself a little bit of a PDF, so I have like reference pictures. Sometimes I do a bit of a color palette. Make a list of the animals that I want, and this is just really nice because you can type and draw and put pictures in, and it's really easy. So if you have an iPad available to you, that is definitely what I would recommend using, because it's so much fun to do and it's so easy and it's really handy. But you can totally draw on a piece of paper or whatever you're comfortable with. But yes, I will put a little bit of a drawing somewhere around of what I do. Maybe I will blur out the animals that I've planned so that you have some surprises still coming, so you can kind of see what my original idea was. And so if you look at the map that I hopefully have put on the screen right now, you can tell that if you look at it side by side, this won't fit, because this is my first tip, by the way, for planning. Go into the map and just zoom out and kind of draw the border of the map so that you can always tell. Like, let's say you're building right here, you can tell that you're really, really close to the edge here, and you know to plan accordingly, because it's never nice to have to build on the actual edge right here. So you can see it goes a little bit like out of the edge, but it's never nice to kind of be on a crunch here. So that is my first tip, just draw around the perimeter of your park. So yeah, if you look at this, and if you look at the plan that I made, it won't really fit the way that I wanted it to. We will keep it like this, and just work from here and see how I can kind of alter my plans that I already have to make this accommodate this more. So what I would say we go in first. Do first is work on this cave thing. It won't really help me figure out how I want to go next, but it will kind of fix this. So let's jump into there. See you there. Okay, so now first, let us move these trees out of the way here. We don't really need them right now, and I hope we won't need them in future screenshots, but maybe we will. So let's just put them very far up where we will never see them. Okay, so I mean, we still see the shadows, but whatever. So now this is looking a lot less messy. So what we want to do what I want to do is, first of all, we have to take the water out, which might cause this to lag a little bit, so hold on. Okay. And then do the thing of always checking if your water goes back in. This is very important. Alright. Okay. So it does go back in, which is very important. Usually, if it doesn't, that means your path is too close to the water. So first of all, I think that this lake here is way too big. So what I want in this lake in the end is probably something like flamingos or the red crown crane. And I'm not sure which one and what will work, because the thing with the flamingos is they're a good filler animal if you have an open space and you want kind of a water feature there. It is really good to use the flamingos for that, to give it some light and some color. Yeah, it's not really, I don't really want to plan it oh my god. I don't want to start planning for the flamingo in the beginning because I know it's a good filler animal and I don't want it used already. But the red crown crane, I don't really want the visitors to be able to walk into the habitat, so that is an issue. So what I'm doing right now is kind of pulling this sort of lake closer here and also further back. So, because my problem, like I said, is that this waterway right here, it takes too long to get to the middle of the island, if that makes sense. So I kind of want to change that to make it closer here. And it's also nice because, I'm still thinking I would prefer the flamingos here. And it would be nice if here, through the little trees, you could see this little tiny hint of pink. So I think that would look really nice. And also I want the visitors, because here's the exit, right? I want them to be able to walk close to it before going to the exit. So that is kind of my plan for this lake. Okay, so also because we are still this isn't the final the final terraforming by any means. This is just to give myself an idea. I really like to do this in the beginning, just especially to give myself an idea of height elevations and all these kind of things. And also later on I will give you some ideas on how to use terrain paint for your planning. Actually, we're doing this right now because if I always make everything grass to start out with, just so that I have a clear canvas. But right now this can stay brown because that will be a lake later anyway. And then I just use something that is easy to see for the paths. So I usually kind of draw my paths in so that I kind of know how I want them to go. So let's say I want them to go from here. And now looking at our map, we know that we kind of have the visitors come in from over here. So maybe we will have a path like this. Oh, no, hold on. They're not coming from there. Let's go back. Alright, so they are coming from here, of course. So they are actually coming from the cave. So they will need a place to cross this, or maybe we'll have them enter from this site. I'm not sure yet. Anyway, so this kind of will be the path. I don't really know. Maybe we'll put other animals alongside it. Maybe it'll be walkthrough. So I'm not sure on that yet, but definitely I like this lake being pulled back further. This also kind of gives you an idea how huge this island is, and how much we can maybe pull this entire part back to make this smaller, because we do need some more space, because I definitely do want another island here, and then probably the others will kind of have to go into the corners a bit, which is not how I planned it, but that's okay. So now we have the lake kind of pulled back and closer here. It's time to get into the cave. The thing with the cave is that the visitors will walk through the cave. That is something I definitely want they will walk through it from an island that is very close here. That is the general idea, but they also have to come up here to walk over it because that is how you start into the park. So what I need to do, ideally I want this like here, but that will be too far. We won't get this to go there, and also I don't want to change the beach too much because I like that it is kind of oh, let's check the water now that we're at it. Oh, come on. Yes, it still works. Okay. So, because I like this sort of, this looks very beachy, so I don't want to change a lot about this beach, but maybe we can have the beach kind of go around the corner a bit. So, let's take the water back out. And kind of this path also needs to go. No. So what we do now is, oh, let's take away more path, okay? So this first of all needs to be evened out here. Right, like this. Okay. So this path here will kind of go more straight. Not more straight, but kind of more inland, if that makes sense. We still we'll have some shops here, but I don't think it's too bad if they are like a little bit curved away from the actual coastline, so that we kind of can pull the cave in a little bit more. Also, I'm not sure I want them to like walk over the cave like a bridge, or maybe I will have the terrain raised all over here. But then we have a cliff here. Well, we'll see. Okay, we're not planning that far ahead, but okay, so we have to kind of raise this up to make sure that how this meets we like. So the thing is, like, we already know that we need our visitors to come up here, right? So we have to kind of think, okay, do we like the way that it looks when the terrain goes up? I don't think I will have this park be wheelchair accessible, because I do plan on some things that will have ladders and whatnot. And also I think this is more like hiking through the jungle, and I don't know. I mean, ideally I would like that it is wheelchair accessible, but I'm not sure it will really work. Which usually I really try to always do in my parks because I think it's so important to do. But with this one, I think I might have to, don't do that, unfortunately. So let's just pull this. Ooh, that's not what I wanted to do. So we are pulling this cave further in, and it's not important that it is kind of a shorter cave. That isn't, we can have it sort of long, but not that long. It's more about, like I said, I want it to be closer to this part here. So we kind of take away something here later, but we have to pull everything out at first. That's kind of a pity with the terraforming, that, you can't move terraforming, but we'll see. Okay, I kind of want to leave this like up, and kind of make this a rocky coast later, or maybe some like small beaches or something. So that will do. Okay, so we have this, and I'm not happy with the incline here. It's too steep. But, I mean, if it's not wheelchair accessible, I think that's an okay amount of steep here. I kind of want, like, really, like, almost scary, like, crooked, like a stone path going up there that is, like, almost scary to walk up because it is so not, like, even. So that is kind of my idea for here. So I want the people to come up here. Now, what is going on here is that I want the entire, like, shoreline, I want to be accessible for sea lions. And this cave is inspired by a cave that I think is in Oregon in the United States that has like a sea lion cave. And I kind of want to do this, not to the extent that it is in Oregon, because there were like millions of sea lions there, and we won't be able to do that. But I want this to be a cave that sea lions can come into on this side, and then right here I want visitors to walk through the cave and kind of do some cool cave stuff, right? So that is also why it is handy that we kind of extend this out here, because then we can have some places for the sea lions to rest. Hold on, I'll give you some light. Well, that didn't work. Okay. So right here will be some sea lion places, but we really don't have to go into this right now. I just want to make sure that it works, so we will have to work with some pathing here. And also this kind of makes me wonder if maybe the cave minus the sea lions will be the next thing that we do, because we can't really work on the sea lions before everything else is done, because the sea lions ideally will be able to swim around everywhere, kind of like a marine animal, so that if you're anywhere on the park and look out, there's a possibility you could see a sea lion. That is kind of the idea that I have for this. So we can't really put the sea lions in. So this is kind of my question. Like, would you still be interested in going next with a cool cave for the sea lions to be inside without actually putting the sea lions in? I mean, I'm maybe putting the sea lions in just to see if they can traverse and, you know, take some screenshots and whatnot, but we will definitely have to take them back out as soon as we, you know, build on other stuff. So they will be purely there for the screenshots and the cinematics probably, but that is kind of all. So what I did right here is obviously I pulled the cave a little bit back. I'm not happy though. I'll have to pull it back more. But, so I probably can make this a bit smaller then. Okay. So, you know what? Let me just do this real quick. I'll just speed it up the footage so you don't have to hear me ramble and talk while I do it. But, yeah, I'll see you once there's something to talk about. Alright, and we're back. That is not entirely what I planned, but I'm okay with it now, because I feel like the more I take away here, the less I like the beach. So I think now we're at a good middle ground. Here's a tip that I wanted to give you that I thought of while I was doing this little speed buildy right here, or speed terraforming. Sometimes if you're just very rough with the terrain tool, it creates these like very crazy things, these like very crazy edges, and I like to sometimes keep them like that because they can make for like very interesting features, especially if you're doing like a more natural approach to terraforming. These can be very interesting. So what it created is like this wall right here, and obviously that will change and be like tweaked and whatnot, but I like to keep stuff like this. This is for me very interesting looking right here. It's almost like heads. And then this piece I also really liked. So I think I kind of want to have the path for the visitors to go like from here, like this, and then out. So I like to keep this. So I hope that I can get a path through here. And then here will be the other path. And what it also created is like this little thing that you saw right at the end. And it's also the same thing here, which are kind of like, I think they are called like tide pots, which is when the tide goes back and it creates these little holes that are still filled with water, and they get really, really warm. And I think there's like some shark that always gets stuck in it, and it made the shark learn how to walk a bit to get back to the ocean, which I thought was really interesting. And I immediately thought of that when I saw these fill up with water. So I will probably try to keep these, maybe make them a bit rocky or something, but this is not really about decorating. This is just about planning it out so that I know where to go next. So what I want to do next, and what I will talk about while I do it, is put the path through here, because the path is not your friend in many different ways, but today your path is not your friend because you also have water. So this will probably not go here if it is this low. So what I like to do when I have a low ceiling somewhere with the terrain, I just use the like the push thing and push it back in. I hope, can you see it? Okay, it doesn't really change anything if I hit the L, but I kind of push it out and try not to push it out too far. You will know if you push it out too far because the light will come through. Like, we can test this right here. Hold on. Like this, the light will go through. This is actually very nice. Now I want to keep it like that. Okay, whatever, we'll keep it. We have to figure out if that works with the path, but we'll keep it for now. Let's see. We're stuck. Okay. I think that is really cool. I think we will have the path go up here, and then we can keep that. I think that looks really nice. See, this is the thing. Just like little mess ups with the terraforming can make it so cool, because that is kind of natural, if that sounds, if that makes sense to you. But we definitely have to work with the path now. So I don't want it to be too narrow, but I also don't want it to be too wide. So the problem is sometimes you can place the path and you can do everything, but if you try to place back the water later, because we will have to take out the water a lot probably, it won't work. So what we kind of go for is see if this touches the water, the lower part of it. Okay. So I hope that this would be enough, maybe a bit more. By the way, if you don't know, you can just move this up and down holding the, I don't know what that key is called, but I will put it on the screen. Okay. So let's just see if we can put the water back if we do it like this. Okay, so that was stupid. Let's do that again, because if we can put the water back in, I want this to be in a good place already. So let's, okay, make it more white. This is already very white, which gives you an idea that this also needs like something, like a size reference. So we'll put over a keeper and see if this fence is too white. He was very excited about that. He will not be excited anymore once he's here because he was already stuck over there. Okay, so I think that is a good size. I think that it's really nice that you can kind of look over here, but obviously the main thing will be sea lions that can enter here. Okay, is this? Yeah, that's good. Okay, so let's now hold your hopes, or I don't know. I want to take out the water. Hello? Okay, so now I hope they will go back in. It looks good. Does it go back in? Yes, it goes back in. Okay, great. Now we can plan this path further. We will make it a straight path that just goes out. This isn't really important what's going on here, but we have a plan for over here. Okay, so let's make this go all the way here. And then, okay, we can't put this there then. Okay, that's fine. So the next part is rounded off and goes over here. So I hope that this will work. Is that even? Yeah. Okay, so that is perfect. Okay, so it's not really important what happens over here, and generally when you place your paths in situations like this where it's really important how the path is placed for how you're going to go on, I would recommend you kind of give yourself some like edge to work with, because now if I take this away, this is still where I want it to be, but if I take this away, it kind of loses the curve that I really need. So I kind of give myself some place to delete the path later on if I want to have a little bit of a different angle, right? So always make more path than needed, because sometimes deleting a piece of path doesn't make it go back to the way that it was before you placed the path, if that makes sense. So we have this cage, it's a cave, that there will be sea lions, but we don't need to work on that now. But now we have that. So moving on to the next thing will be this river here. So we already established that this we kind of want to keep higher up. So this will be kind of like a cliffside. So we take back out the water. Let's put it back in just to be sure. I'm always a bit scared that it won't. Alright, it still goes in. Okay. So now we pull this out further, and also I kind of want this to be going further in. We don't need that much space now, because the thing is, if we stay up here with the path, we won't have to plan in any space to go back down, right? We can go straight into an exhibit that will be up here maybe, which is something that we will probably do. But this is so annoying. If someone has a trick for this, I would love that, because if you use the okay, I should really figure out how these things are called in English, but if you use this tool right here and it's too far up, you have a cave underneath it, which is so annoying. Let's do it like this maybe. Okay. So yeah, that's kind of annoying with this, but we don't need to do that right now actually, but we kind of get to make this a nice curve here and save us some space. Let's make this bigger. Okay, so we kind of already have a smaller island here. Now it's kind of getting to the point where I'm like, is it too small? Because I do know what kind of animals I want here alongside the river, and they definitely need to go alongside the river. Like, that's where I want them. And also, there will probably be a boat that goes through the river, so it can't be too small. But okay, let's maybe put this. I still want the curve here. Okay, so kind of saving us some space, which also means we have to probably move these islands, but that doesn't matter. I'm not too concerned with these islands anyway, because I really don't know how big they have to be later on, because oh my god, this will be so hard to plan, which is also why I think it is good to show you how I plan, because this actually combines so many different things. We have the boat ride that we later want to do, we have the rivers, and obviously with the rivers and all the water and everything, it is one big water, so we have to always consider this is an entire body of water. That is all like like clipped together like one big thing. So you can't just like, oh, whatever, so the water level is a bit off. No, it has to be perfect because otherwise it won't work. So this over here will already be like, this part here will be part of the next island already. So I'm not too happy with this here. So this goes a bit more even and this is a bit more curved. So all right. So this right here will still be the next island. I don't think we need to plan ahead this far. We kind of have to focus on what kind of animals we want on this side and along this side here. Because over here, I'm not quite sure, and it's not really that important yet. But I kind of want to get it to a place where we have the bridge that goes across here. And then we can build alongside here, because this is what I have planned out really well. But I have to know that that is actually where it will be. Like, I don't have to move this. So that is why I want to start here and then go from there. Another way that we have to work on this. Okay, but let's first close off this here, so I won't wonder later. All right, that's better. Okay, so this actually will be the next island, and it kind of is only separated by a little bit of a river. So we have a boat ride that goes through it, which is another thing that requires you to plan, because you can't really do a boat ride without planning. It is not a spontaneous thing. Boat rides are really hard. So another thing we kind of need to do here is make this a lot smaller. This does not need to be this big. What will happen on this side of the island is the resort. So we will have the resort there, and the resort does not need that much space, and it also doesn't need to be that far out, I think. I kind of want it to be out a bit, but not too much, and also I don't want this entire thing, like this length here. If you think about it, the resort does not need to be connected to anything, and this is the path to the exit. So you will come from here. Well, maybe it will work. Okay, but I want to still pull this in a bit, and this. Because that also means we can have this closer there later on. And then this will be the new like beachfront for the resort thing. But what we need to do now, because I don't want it, okay, no, you could, okay, I don't like that. I don't want it to be seen from here, so it'll go further out a bit. Maybe it will have a more interesting shape later on, but for now that's good. So I know that if you walk from here, let's say you are here at the exit, you walk from here, it will take you some time to get to the resort. I think that's good. And I kind of, okay, I want them to be able to look out onto the ocean. You know what, I mean, like here is probably going to be a beach. Let's mark that. This will probably be the beach to the resort. It won't be a big or luxurious thing, by the way, but yeah, it'll still be there. So this will be the island that has staff, and it has the beginning of the boat ride. So this will get a bridge, but we don't have to worry about that now because we don't know where the bridge is going to be. And then here will be some like just forest that separates the resort from the park. But this right here will genuinely be the last animal before exiting the park. And then here, the idea is that you go to the other island. When you're here, you go to the other island, like this. And then here you walk through. And then you come back here. Take this path. And then somehow, with some bridge, go to this. These are a surprise, but you kind of walk alongside this. And then here you enter the boat ride, and the boat ride will take you up and around, and well, no, it'll take you through the river. Oh my god, the river. But that is too much planning ahead for today, because like I said, if you plan ahead too far, first of all, you're setting yourself up for failure and for disappointment, because you already have a very strict picture in your head that you almost can't really fulfill, which will be upsetting. But if you kind of do it step by step and kind of make it more concrete as you come close to what you already have, at least for me, that is the easiest. Like this is very close to what I'm already building at, so I kind of know where everything is. But if I started to say, okay, I want this small island here, but I don't know how it's going to connect to this island or the next island, that's not even fleshed out. So it doesn't really have a point yet. I don't really know how I want the boat ride to get there. So this is too far out. This is the perfect amount of out, and this is just looking into the future, right? So ideally what I want is to bring us here. So the path, by the way, it will go up here. That is the entrance path. So this is the direction you're walking. This takes you up, and then you will stay up here. Like we will make all of this further up here, but it will genuinely go like this. And then this is where I told you the bridge is gonna go, the first. And then you are on this island. So ideally, I want to get to a place where I can build this entire island, and then cross over, and then take care of the rest of it. Because that just kind of makes more sense to me. We might do an enclosure here first before we cross it, so that we know how the visitors will look at this. This will definitely get the boat ride. We don't have to plan that ahead though, because it is on the same level of water anyway, so that will work. We just have to make sure that they will fit through it, but they are actually really good. And if you don't make it too windy, you can actually kind of know that it will fit. So I'm not too worried about it, but if you're planning a boat ride and you're worried about will the boat get through it, because it isn't very flexible, like let's say the what is called the trucks. I would just suggest you to play around with it a bit, with the what are they called? Like the, oh my god, the way that the boats go, you know, the, I don't know what they're called, the supports, I don't know, but just play around with them, get an idea of how far you can bend them. So this will be the most critical curve here, but genuinely I think if it goes in at like a somewhat even angle here, like not too big of an angle here, it will go like this and then straight across, and then have a bigger angle going back, right? So it will be maybe kind of crooked, but it will work. I'm pretty sure it will work. I don't have to test this out, but by all means, if you are planning a boat ride and you're stressed about it, just test it out, and make sure that you test it on the right level and all that. But yeah, this looks like a poodle now. Okay, it doesn't, but I saw a poodle. Okay, now I'm just doing nothing. I think I kind of have my answer. I think I kind of want to either build the cave or build everything up top here. But maybe I won't. Oh my god, this is really hard. Maybe I'll leave it like that. Maybe I'll actually start here and go straight into the first animal on this side. Or maybe like start with the bridge here or something. Maybe. But I kind of also want to build for an animal next. Like this is very structure heavy and not very animal heavy in the beginning. Because also I want shops here. which is why I'm not going like straight to that. So I'm thinking maybe, now that I see it, maybe we can have shops here, have like maybe a binturong here, that is like kind of climbing up with you basically. So that could be interesting. I'm not sure how I feel about that though, because it feels kind of unrealistic to have it there. And it would need a cage then, and I don't really want to have this park look cagey. I want it to look more, they can just roam around and they happen to be there sort of thing. But yeah, so this might also just be nothing. Or we start with the flamingos. That could also work. You know what? This doesn't really help me. I thought that by the end of this I would know exactly what I wanted to do, but I don't. So maybe that isn't too good of a planning video, but I did give you some tips. I hope that maybe you've not heard before, so maybe that was helpful. But I guess we will build this cave next and just call it a day. I know that it doesn't have animals then, but I do think it's the logical step to have this cave ready and then make our way here. It's really bad because this whole thing, even on my drawn map, I didn't really plan this part out that much because I knew it would be kind of finicky to get it all to work together. So now I'm at the point where I'm like, I started here, now I don't know how to do it here. So I'm almost like, let's do this bridge first. And do this island first, because that is full of animals and full things that I have planned 100%, and then just wing it over here, just make sure that it is filled basically. But the cave I definitely want and I will definitely keep. So yeah, I will figure out if either this will be the first enclosure, over here will be the first enclosure, or we build around the cave with the sea lions, and maybe also the path around it, depending on, you know, how long it takes to do the sea lion thing. And then we probably do the shop front here and work on the flamingos at some point. Or maybe we go over to the other island. I'll decide on that. I'll probably start building around in some stuff. So if you see the next video and there's some stuff happening in the bag, don't worry, I won't withhold it from you, but I might, you know, start building something and realize that that will be better for later, and then continue there. But you'll see the footage eventually at some point, so don't worry about that. I hope this was informative in some sort of way. If not, there's a new Speedball coming up this week still. And also in the, okay, oh my god, we forgot to test this. Now, give it to me. Give me the water. Alright, okay. Yes, okay, the water still works. Okay, great. Oh, we didn't put the terrain. Well, that is to worry for future me. Okay, before we end this video, actually, what I wanted to say is thank you so much, because we just hit 100 subscribers. I know that in the big world of YouTube, that is not a lot of people, but in the small world of me, that is a lot of people, and I'm so happy for everyone who subscribed. Actually, the last time I checked, I was at 111, so 111, which is pretty funny, or pretty cool, or whatever. But thank you so much to every 111 of you. What did I say? Did I say 111? Yes. So thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. It's so cool. It's so much fun so far. I hope you're still enjoying the videos. I hope that more people will join to enjoy the videos with you. There's so many nice people who comment, and I really, really appreciate every single one of you. And I hope that this was some help. I hope this wasn't too messy. And I hope to see you around for the next one. Bye!